Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Today, our group would like to present about elucidate inheritance of complex characteristics on human using quantitative inheritance. Before that, I would like to introduce our member group. Me, Farid Hakimi bin Ahmad Tarmidi, Ainida Nur binti Kamarul Bahrin, and Aina Marini binti Zainuddin. In this part, I will explain about the human skin color. Human skin color is caused by the protein called melanin, and melanin are produced by cell called melanocyte, which is eumelanin and pheomelanin. The amount of melanin show how darker their skin color, and amount of melanin is depend on the exposure to the sunlight. However, the skin color is one of the polygenic inheritance. So, color of human are under continuous inheritance since the characteristic show has an intermediate. For example, when a genotype with 3 dominant allele and 3 recessive allele, capital A, capital B, small b, and capital C, small c, has medium amount of melanin produced by intermediate skin color. In this case, Bg greater than Be, but Bg greater than 0 since it mostly controlled by genetic inheritance. In some unique case, there is a albino individual skin color which is does not affect by gene nor environment.
Height. Many people guess that height are determined by environment, for example diet. But the truth is, scientists estimate that about 80% of individual height determined by the DNA sequence variation they have inherited. Based on phenotype of height, it shows that there are under continuous inheritance. This is because the characteristics show there have intermediate. For example, between 150 cm and 160 cm, there have 151, 152, and so on until 159. This characteristic tends to be quantitative and can be shown by using line graph and bell-shaped graph. In this case, Vg is bigger than Ve, but Ve is bigger than 0. In some cases, the person can suffer from achondroplasia. Achondroplasia is a genetic condition affecting a protein in body called fibroblast growth factor receptor. This causes the person become dwarf. In achondroplasia, this protein begins to function in abnormally. It causes bone to slowing down to grow. Weight. Heritability for body weight was carried by gene and effect by environment. Common environmental influence on all body measures were high at birth and markedly reduced over time. Based on the increasing of body weight along a person's age, the weight is a continuous inheritance. The characteristics show there have intermediate. Genetics appear to play an increasingly important role in explaining the variation in weight from early childhood to late adolescence. Weight are to be quantitative, and common environmental factors exert their strongest and most independent influence specifically in pre-adolescent years and more significantly in girls. The suitable graph to show weight variation are line graphs, as weight has intermediate points. As gene-environment correlation and interaction is likely, it is also necessary to identify the genetic variants that may predispose individuals to obesity. Vg is less than Ve, but Vg is higher and bigger than 0 because obesity are usually caused by genetic inheritance.
Last but not least, eyes color. Eyes color can be happen by inherited from the parent. it shows that eye color is determined by genetic trait. So this tells that eye color are not being affected by environment. The genetic gives the information about amount of pigment or melanin in the iris or eyes. Based on the phenotype of eye color, it shows that they are under discontinuous inheritance. This is because the characteristics show they have no intermediate. For example, between brown eye color and blue eye color, there is no other character that can be added between it. This character need to use qualitative method and also can be represented by using bar graph. In this part, it shows V genetic is more than V environment since the eye color determined by genetic inheritance, and V environment is equal to 0 since eye color not being affected by environment. In some unique and rare cases, the person possesses two different eye colors. These cases are called heterochromia. These cases are common in some animals like cat, but are rare in humans. There are three types of heterochromia: complete heterochromia, segmental heterochromia, and central heterochromia. However, these conditions do not cause any problem to our health. In the conclusion, many factors that determine human trait is found at the early study of human diversity, such as human skin color, eye color, height, and weight is the most determined by genetic inheritance. In most cases, the heritability value for them often lies between two extremes. Meanwhile, the human eye color heritability value is V environment equal to 0 due to the fact that it does not affect by environmental factor and it only due to genetic variation. However, the role of genetic environment in a human characteristic is a subject that has been hotly debated among researchers since the heritability estimate tell us nothing about the specific gene that contribute to a trait.